Welcome to Primetime News on TV1. I'm Thiruni Karunaratna. Let's take a look at tonight's headlines. Entire police force mobilized to build a crime-free society. IGP emphasizes nationwide law enforcement drive. Kehel Badara Padme and others arrested, brought back to Sri Lanka. Attention given to the establishment of a separate court to hear bribery cases. Transparency International pledges strong support for anti-corruption efforts in Sri Lanka. 1 dead, 57 injured in Pothuwil Komari bus accident. US Appeals Court rules many of Trump's tariff laws unconstitutional. On to those stories in detail. Inspector General of Police Attorney Priyantha Veerasurya says that firm and decisive action is being taken to build a society free of crime. He made these remarks while joining the Lanka program scheduled to be aired on Sirasa TV. Inspector General of Police Attorney Priyantha Veerasurya stressed the importance of ensuring that individuals who violate the law are duly punished through appropriate legal measures, noting that it is essential to provide the facilities necessary for this process.
Enforcing the law is not enough on its own. It is equally important to have legislation that ensures proper punishment for those caught breaking it. The Sri Lanka police is one part of this process. Even though many investigations are underway, bringing these criminals to justice is not always guaranteed, especially when other shortcomings exist. All institutions must take necessary actions, and proper coordination is essential. When we compare law enforcement facilities in developed countries, it becomes clear that Sri Lanka police need better infrastructure. The government is currently implementing a special program to address this. For instance, police stations around the world are equipped with forensic laboratories, and we should aim to elevate our country to that level as well.
He also commented on the recruitment process being carried out to further strengthen the police service.
We hope to recruit lawyers into Sri Lanka police and are taking necessary steps to make this a reality. Every day, renowned lawyers appear in court, and criminals facing serious charges are sometimes freed due to minor technical errors on our part. By having legal expertise within the police, we can prevent such situations. Moreover, the qualifications required for recruitment have not been updated in 73 years. I have informed the government about this, and plans will be made to raise these standards in the future. For example, the minimum qualification for a constable will be increased to A levels, while a sub-inspector of police will be required to hold a university degree.
The IGP further emphasized that any officers unwilling to contribute to building a society free of crime and violence should step down from the service. The
vision of the Sri Lanka police is to create a peaceful society where people can live without fear of crime or violence. My goal is to turn that vision into reality. I am guiding and directing our officers towards this, and any officer unwilling to follow will have to step down from service. If disruptions occur, whether from within the force or due to political connections, I will not hesitate to fulfill my duty. Given the current political environment, we are empowered to act correctly and enforce the law as required. My hands are not tied. I am free to use the full extent of the law. If we are unable to do that, I take that as my own shortcoming. Conversely, if officers fail to follow my directives, that reflects their own weakness.
Commenting further, he highlighted the importance of public support in ensuring the success of police operations.
We are fully committed to building a police force that earns and maintains the public's trust. Any barriers to achieving this are being actively addressed. However, we cannot make progress without the support of the public in enforcing the law against crime and corruption. Your active participation and cooperation are essential to this effort.
The Lanka program, featuring Inspector General of Police Attorney Priyantha Veerasurya, will be aired in full this Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. on Sirasa TV. 5 organized criminals, including Kehel Badara Padme, who were arrested in Indonesia, were brought back to Sri Lanka today. The flight carrying them departed from the Jakarta International Airport this evening. We now cross over to Budmi Namara Divakara reporting from the Bandar Naik International Airport in Katunayaka.
The 5 organized criminals, including Kehel Badara Padme, arrived in Sri Lanka from a special flight from Indonesia a few hours ago, and a special operation was carried out by the Sri Lanka police, the Indonesian police and the Interpol last Thursday to arrest these 5 organized criminals, including Kehel Badara Padme. And right now I am here near the Bandar Naik International Airport, and this is the latest coming to you. Reporting to you, I am Budmi Namara Divakara for Newsfirst.
A special police team departed for Indonesia this morning to bring back 5 organized criminals, including Kehel Badara Padme, who were arrested recently in Jakarta. The police stated that investigations have already begun into the illegal assets acquired by Padme and his associates. Meanwhile, interrogation of the wife of Bako Saman, who was taken into custody by the Criminal Investigation Department last evening, has also commenced. This follows her arrest in Indonesia and subsequent extradition to Sri Lanka. The arrests in Jakarta involved organized criminals Kehel Badara Padme, Commando Salinta, Bako Saman, Panudurni Lanka and Thambili Lahiru. The operation was a joint effort by the Sri Lankan, Indonesian and Interpol officers.
Deputy Minister of Public Security Attorney Sunil Vatagala says that attention is being given to the establishment of a separate court to hear bribery commission cases. He made this remark while participating in a mobile service program organized by the Maharagama Urban Council.
Within the framework of government institutional autonomy, the law is being properly applied today. The Penal Code isn't ours. The Public Property Act isn't ours either. These are part of the country's general law. And when applied, some people get confused. It's like telling someone to fire a bullet at an iron bar and then saying aim at the rice bag without looking. There is a public demand, and there is also a request from the Bribery Commission itself. The number of complaints received by the Bribery Commission has increased, and these needs to be examined. If possible, they are asking for a separate court to hear these cases. Attention is being given specifically to hearing Bribery Commission cases in a dedicated court. Is this good or bad? Should it be expedited? Yes, it should be expedited. Otherwise, if the cases go through the regular process, there will be delays. That's why we are considering hearing Bribery Commission cases in a separate court. What we are doing is establishing a separate court if needed and defining the relevant powers through Parliament while providing the necessary infrastructure. That is our responsibility. The political responsibility rests with the politicians.
ඕක තමයි අපේ කාර්යභාරය. ඒක තමයි දේශපාලඥයාගේ කාර්යභාරය.
The establishment of internal affairs units within government institutions to prevent bribery and corruption, along with the measures introduced under the Clean Sri Lanka program, has been commended by Chair of Transparency International, Francois Valerian, who is currently on a visit to Sri Lanka. He further stated that Transparency International remains fully committed to continuously supporting the country's anti-corruption initiatives. A meeting between Chair of Transparency International, Francois Valerian, and Secretary to the President, Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumar Nayaka, was held yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat. The President's Media Division says that during the meeting, the Secretary briefed Valerian on the government's continuous efforts to tackle corruption in both public and private sectors. The Secretary highlighted that the government has launched several new initiatives to strengthen anti-corruption mechanisms, which have already shown significant progress. He further stated that programs are also being implemented to raise public awareness about bribery and corruption, with broader goals that include ensuring the efficient use of state funds and fostering a culture of transparency across the country. The Chair of Transparency International emphasized the importance of coordinated action between the government and civil society in advancing anti-corruption objectives.
Wherever they may hide or wherever they go, those who committed crimes against our country will inevitably have to face punishment. We know that even in Singapore there is someone, a close associate of Ranil Wickremesinghe. But still, that person too is unwell, a criminal nevertheless as far as we understand. Regardless of connections or status, necessary action is now being taken, and our institutions are carrying out their responsibilities effectively to enforce the law of the country without discrimination.
Minister of Public Administration, Provincial Councils and Local Government, Dr. Chandana Aberatna says that state officials must carry out their administrative duties in accordance with the law of the country in the best interest of the people.
විශේෂිත තත්ත්වයන් ඇතුලේ පැරණි දේ වෙනස් කරලා පැරණි දේ ඇතුලේ තිබුණු යහපත් දේවල් අරගෙන වඩා
Throughout history, we have seen people who, under special circumstances, were able to change what was old, preserve what was good within it, and create something better and new. As a society, we too must face this challenge today, the challenge of building a new world, and we must overcome it as people. The responsibility of ushering a new era has always been upon us historically, and this task can only be achieved through collective effort. The state is something that must be carried forward with cooperation. It is something everyone must do together. A cart cannot move with only one wheel. A cart needs two wheels. One is the political mechanism and the other is the administrative mechanism. If these two do not move forward collectively with one goal, the country cannot progress. For that purpose, we as a government stand in support of the decisions you take in goodwill. Therefore, let us all seize this opportunity together.
The minister expressed these views today at the ministry premises in Narayanpeta during the inaugural program of an initiative to provide ethical guidance in resolving the service-related issues of divisional secretaries. On this occasion, selected divisional secretariats for pilot digitalization projects were officially recognized, and awards were also presented to Gram Niladaris who won the national level evaluation competition for office management and service performance for the years 2020 and 2021.
News First with the people. News First, main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability. A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, 10.25% for 15 months, 11% for 24 months. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Now, a discussion on the 2026 pre-budget for the tourism sector with private sector stakeholders was held yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat under the patronage of President Anura Kumara Dissanayake. There, he invited entrepreneurs to invest in converting President's houses in tourist zones into holiday resorts. The President pointed out that mere promotional programs would not suffice to achieve the expected targets of the tourism sector for 2026. He emphasized the need for a new strategic program jointly implemented by both the public and private sectors. Inviting entrepreneurs to invest in transforming President's houses and ministers' official bungalows located in areas such as Nuwara Eliya, Anuradhapura, Mahiyangana and Kataragama into comfortable holiday resorts targeting foreign tourists. The President announced that a formal program in this regard would be launched in the near future. During the discussion, business leaders highlighted the existing shortcomings and challenges in the tourism industry. The President also requested entrepreneurs to present their proposals for the advancement of this sector. Meanwhile, President Anura Kumara Dissanayake stated that future incentives will be introduced to encourage export diversification and the development of value-added products. The President made these remarks yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat during the 2026 pre-budget discussion with private sector representatives from the agriculture and food and beverage sectors. The meeting focused on providing facilities for farmers, exports, tax concessions, recycling and the legal environment affecting the sector. There was also extensive discussion on ensuring a continuous supply of quality agricultural and food products to consumers, as well as the challenges faced by businesses, with participants sharing their views and proposals. Deputy Minister of Lands and Irrigation Dr. Susil Ranasinghe stated that steps are being taken to study amendments to the Irrigation Act to protect tank reserves. He made these remarks while participating in a program to demarcate tank reserve boundaries under the Clean Sri Lanka initiative. The demarcation of the Ambalantutta Ridiyagama Tank Reserve was carried out today under the leadership of Deputy Minister of Lands and Irrigation, Dr. Susil Ranasinghe. This marks the third phase of the program to demarcate tank reserves and protect conservation areas under the Clean Sri Lanka initiative.
When it comes to protecting tank reserves, those who raised objections previously gathered near Dudley's Hotel and are not going to stop us from moving forward. We have no influence over clearing these reserves, nor do we seek to exert any. We leave it to the relevant institutions to take lawful and proper action. These tank reserves exist under the Irrigation Act, and the discussions are ongoing regarding amendments to strengthen protection. We are studying these amendments because if we don't act, which government will? No other government will do it.
Meanwhile, as the second phase of this initiative, the Tissamaharama Tissavawa Reserve was demarcated yesterday. A program has been launched to clean the Bera Lake using electric boats. According to the Western Province Governor's Media Unit, the program will remove up to 3,000 kilograms of waste per day using solar-powered electric boats. The project, started as a pilot initiative, is planned to expand in the future with 4 boats. It aims to improve the water quality of the Bera Lake, restore its ecosystem, enhance the scenic beauty of the area and protect community health. A bus accident near the Komari Hospital on the Potuville-Akkare-Pattu road has resulted in 1 fatality. Police reported that 57 others were injured in the incident.
The accident involved a bus carrying a group from Malimada to Digavapi who were returning home from a pilgrimage. The incident occurred at around 3 p.m. today as the bus crashed into a mound of earth. The police confirmed that the accident was captured on security cameras. The injured passengers were admitted to Komari, Tirukhovil and Potuville hospitals. The deceased was a 74-year-old resident of Valimada.
Minister Bimal Ratnaik emphasized the need for a genuine truth-seeking commission to ensure justice for enforced disappearances. He shared these views while participating in an awareness program held today to coincide with the International Day of the Victims of Enforced Disappearances. Meanwhile, various programs were organized across the northern and eastern provinces to mark this international observance. A march organized by the Association of Relatives of the Disappeared was held today in Batiklo. The event, themed Protecting Future Generations from Enforced Disappearances, saw the participation of relatives of the disappeared from Ampara, Trincomalee and Batiklo, along with religious leaders, university students and civil society activists. Meanwhile, another protest was organized today by the Association of the Disappeared in the North and East in Chemmani, Jaffna. Meanwhile, at an awareness program held in Colombo with the participation of Minister of Transport Bimal Ratnaik and Minister of Justice and National Integration Harshan Ananayakkara, it was emphasized that efforts to address enforced disappearances are being guided by the principles of truth, justice and reparation.
At this moment, what is needed is to establish a genuine truth commission to document all these crimes and bring closure to the people. We believe the opportunity to do so will come very soon in the near future. This process of delivering justice must include ensuring some form of economic and social support for those still living. In my understanding, this is the right place to begin. The Ministry of Justice has already started working on this. Enforced disappearances are by no means random incidents. They are crimes. The government's responsibility is not to ignore these acts or delay the duties owed to the victims, but to acknowledge them and take action. At this moment, I would like to highlight 3 main principles that guide our work: truth, justice and reparation. Every family has the right to know the truth. Truth is not a gift granted by the government. It is a fundamental right that must be guaranteed to the people. We are introducing a new mechanism to provide reparations to the families of the disappeared. This new approach ensures transparency, avoids past delays, and moves beyond one-time payments to provide long-term support and cooperation.
Yemen's Houthis have confirmed that an Israeli airstrike killed the Prime Minister of the group's government in the capital, Sana'a.
Houthis said in a statement Ahmad al-Rahawi was killed in a Thursday strike in Sana'a along with a number of ministers. Al-Rahawi, who served as Prime Minister to the Houthi-led government in the areas of the divided country that it controls since August 2024, was targeted along with other members of the government who were also killed during a routine workshop held by the government to evaluate its activities and performance over the past year. The Israel military attacked Sana'a on Thursday as tensions in the region continue to escalate amid Israel's war on Gaza. The Israeli forces said in a statement that its forces on Thursday struck, quote, a Houthi terrorist regime military target in the area of Sana'a in Yemen, end quote. Israel has repeatedly targeted Houthi positions in recent months as the group has launched attacks on Israel and Western vessels in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden in solidarity with the Palestinians in Gaza.
A U.S. appeals court has ruled that most tariffs issued by U.S. President Donald Trump are illegal, setting up a potential legal showdown that could upend his foreign policy agenda. The ruling affects Trump's reciprocal tariffs imposed on most countries around the world, as well as other tariffs slapped on China, Mexico and Canada. In a 7-4 decision, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit rejected Trump's argument that the tariffs were permitted under an Emergency Economic Powers Act, calling them invalid as contrary to law. The ruling will not take effect until the 14th of October to give the administration time to ask the Supreme Court to take up the case. Trump criticized the appeals court and its ruling, saying, quote, if allowed to stand, this decision would literally destroy the United States of America. Today, a highly partisan appeals court incorrectly said that our tariffs should be removed, but they know the United States of America will win in the end, unquote. Trump had justified the tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, which gives the president the power to act against unusual and extraordinary threats. Trump has declared a national emergency on trade, arguing that a trade imbalance is harmful to United States national security. But the court ruled that imposing tariffs is not within the president's mandate and that setting levies is a congressional power. The U.S. State Department has said that Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has been blocked from attending the UN General Assembly session in New York next month after he and 80 other Palestinian officials had their visas revoked.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio blamed them for undermining peace efforts and for seeking the unilateral recognition of a conjectural Palestinian state. The decision, welcomed by Israel, is unusual, as the U.S. is expected to facilitate travel for officials of all countries wishing to visit the UN headquarters. The ban comes as France leads international efforts to recognize the state of Palestine at the session, a move Donald Trump's administration has opposed. The Palestinian ambassador to the UN had earlier said that as head of its delegation, Abbas would be attending the meeting of heads of state and government in New York. But a State Department official later said Abbas and about 80 other Palestinians would be affected by the decision to deny and revoke visas from members of the Palestine Liberation Organization, or PLO, and the Palestinian Authority. Rubio said Palestinian representatives at the UN observer status at the UN General Assembly, but not as a state. In 2012, the General Assembly voted overwhelmingly to upgrade this, recognizing Palestine as a non-member permanent observer state. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has constantly rejected the idea of a two-state solution, the long-time international formula to resolve the decades-old Israel-Palestinian conflict. It envisages an independent Palestinian state being created alongside Israel in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, with East Jerusalem as its capital. The Israeli military launched a campaign in Gaza, a response to the Hamas-led attack on southern Israel on the 7th of October 2023, in which about 1,200 people were killed and 251 others were taken hostage. More than 63,000 people have been killed in Gaza since then, according to the Hamas-run health ministry.
And in more international news, at least 3 people have been killed and 5 injured in a fire blamed on protesters at a regional parliament building in eastern Indonesia as widespread demonstrations rock the Southeast Asian nation. Indonesia's Disaster Management Agency, in a statement, confirmed these deaths.
The arson attacks on parliamentary building followed Friday's deadly protests in Makassar, capital of southwest Sulawesi province, that left at least 3 people dead and 5 injured. Indonesia's official Antara news agency also said the victims were reported to have been trapped in the burning building, while the disaster agency said 2 of the injured were hurt while jumping out of the building. Officials say several people injured in the fire are being treated in hospital. The fire has since been extinguished. Indonesia has been rocked by protesters across major cities, including Jakarta, since Friday, after footage spread of a motorcycle delivery driver being run over and killed by a police tactical vehicle in earlier rallies over low wages and perceived lavish perks for government officials. In Jakarta, hundreds of demonstrators marched outside the headquarters of the elite Mobile Brigade Corps parliamentary police unit that was blamed for running over a motorcycle delivery driver. Protesters threw stones and firecrackers, and police responded with tear gas as a group tried to tear down the gates of the unit, which is notorious for its heavy-handed tactics. Police said that they had arrested 7 officers for questioning in connection with the driver's death.
The 2-day SARC Children's Literary Festival kicked off in Colombo today.
SARC Cultural Center, in collaboration with the Colombo Public Library, presents the 2-day SARC Children's Literary Festival, centered around the theme Celebrating Folk Tales Through Children's Literature. Today marks the beginning of this exciting journey, where young minds are invited to explore the enchanting world of storytelling.
We strongly believe that interaction among the children, interaction among the people of SARC countries is a very important step for building and strengthening the value of SARC, the sentiment of SARC, the basic idea behind SARC, which was to have harmonious South Asia.
It's a convergence of puppetry, play, folk tales, music, songs, act, and also the literary programs. So it is a convergence of all different aesthetics together to make it a grand success of the SARC Children Literary Festival.
The festival will spark creativity and highlight the power of folk tales in uniting communities. Focused on cultural exchange, it aims to inspire young readers and writers, celebrating stories that transcend borders.
Art and tradition come together as reflections. An exhibition in Colombo showcases the fusion of temple art and textile design.
Reflections, Threads of Tradition, a fusion of temple art and textile, opened yesterday, bringing together unique expressions of Sri Lanka's heritage. The exhibition features tapestry creations and textile designs by Salinga Gunasekara, alongside temple-inspired fusion artwork and designs by Saroja Dharmadasa.
This exhibition is renamed Reflection, and therefore the reflection from my side is based on our ancient weaving technique called Dumbarata. First I studied Dumbar weaving technique, and then I try to convert this technique into modern designs.
Art and painting is a meditation for me, which makes me forget about the rest of the world. And I'm so happy that Saling and I could get together and do this exhibition. This is just the beginning. Hopefully we'll be able to do more exhibitions together as well as with others.
The event aims to revive appreciation for Sri Lanka's artistic and cultural traditions, particularly among younger generations. The exhibition will be open to the public until tomorrow at the Harold Pires Gallery in Colombo.
The Under-18 Inter-School Rugby Sevens Championship kicked off today at the Bogambara Stadium in Kandy.
A total of 24 teams are participating in the tournament, with the preliminary round contested among 8 groups. Based on performances in the preliminary stages, teams will qualify to compete for the Cup, Plate, Bowl and Shield categories. The tournament is scheduled to conclude tomorrow.
Today's happy headlines spotlight the 2 newest additions to the Dehiwala Zoo.
Happy headlines. The Nile hippo couple Nella and Hubert have welcomed their 4th calf. The baby was first seen on the 27th of August. The Nile hippopotamus is native to the African continent. This new calf was born to the same pair who joined Dehiwala Zoo in 2012 under an animal exchange program from Prague Zoo in the Czech Republic. The couple has previously had 3 calves, and zoo officials say the arrival of this new baby is a very special occasion. The typical lifespan of a Nile hippopotamus is around 40 years. Visitors to Dehiwala Zoo now have the opportunity to see the newest addition, and the zoo administration is also preparing to officially name the calf in the near future.
Happy headlines.
Another new arrival has joined Dehiwala Zoo, a much older giant tortoise. Previously, the zoo had displayed a giant tortoise aged 153 years, which many visitors remember. Now, this tortoise has a new companion. The giant tortoise was brought to Dehiwala Zoo through the Department of Wildlife Conservation. Visitors to the zoo can now see both of these new members up close.
Happy headlines.
And that's a wrap of Prime Time News for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Good night.